Welcome back, students. Today we shall start with the second session, nature and scope of investment. What is the meaning of this nature and scope? Nature is nothing but the representation of events or objects drawn from In the previous class, we have discussed about meaning, importance and objectives of investment. The learning of the objective of the chapter will be same for all the 10 sessions. At the end of this session, students will be able to understand. Let us start with the nature of investment management. Nature is nothing but the mental representation of objects or events from personal experience. Nature is also called as characteristics or features. As we want to describe a certain concept, we understand it through the different characteristics or features. So here basically we have 8 features. When we want to describe an individual, we consider their physical features like the height of an individual, the color of an individual, the walking style of an individual, or the personal characteristics like very intelligent, very sober, very honest, very polite, like that. So for a concept also we describe it through certain variables. Here we have 8 variables. The first one is return. Return is nothing but the expected outcome from an investment. This is one of the important factors which influences the investment. Generally, investors prefer high rate of return either in the form of interest, dividend or capital gain. The return is mostly dependent on the type of investment, maturity period and the stability of the earnings, whatever we have. If you are going for a fixed interest bearing security, the return will be stable. If you go for a variable security, the return will be variable. Now the second concept is risk. What is risk? Risk is nothing but the fear of loss. Every investor will have a fear of loss. Any investment for that matter involves risk of loss. The higher the risk, the higher the return. The lower the risk, the lower the return. So fixed interest bearing securities have less risk, whereas variable interest bearing securities will have more risk. I can very easily differentiate. Debentures have less risk, shares have more risk. So it depends on the nature of the financial asset, whatever we are going for. The next one is safety. Safety is nothing but the certainty of return of capital without loss of time and money. Every individual or investor sees that his funds are safe and secure. Nobody wants to lose the money and they want to get the capital back on the maturity without loss. And every investor expects a protection for his investment and also the return, and they want more safety for the investment. So what happens generally is the more safety you expect, the less the return. The less the safety, the more the return. Here again the best example is the interest bearing securities and the other securities. Interest bearing securities, fixed interest bearing securities are very safe. Those which go for dividend are not as safe as fixed interest bearing securities. Next basic concept of characteristic of investment is liquidity. Liquidity is nothing but the ability of the investment to be sold easily without loss of money and time. So what happens when there is high liquidity? The return may be low or the risk also will be high. Maybe there is a risk of loss of the real capital amount. So here liquidity is the ability of the investment to be converted into cash very easily. So when you go for purchase of shares or you go for purchase of gold or some gems and jewels and all, you have more liquidity. It can be sold in the market very easily. At the same time, if you go for purchase of bonds or if you go for purchase of a real asset like land and building or real estate, the liquidity will be very low. The next one is marketability. It is nothing but the buying and selling of securities in the market or transferability or saleability of an asset. So what happens here, if you are going to invest in securities which are listed in the stock exchange, the marketability will be high. If it is not listed, it will be low. If you go for a public limited company shares, the marketability will be easy. If you go for private company shares, the marketability will be very less, because there the transferability of shares from one person to another person is restricted, and they are going to be very thoughtful about the transferability. So investor has to be careful. The next one is capital growth. So capital growth is nothing but the appreciation of the investment made. So this appreciation in the investment depends on the nature of the economy and the nature of the industry. If the economy is in the inflationary condition, there is more chance, more prospect for capital growth. If it is not in that inflation, it will have less growth. And even for the company also, the economic condition has a lot of impact, and the capital growth depends on that particular concept. The next one is stability of income. What is stability? It is nothing but constant. So constant return from an investment is very important. Every investor considers the stability of monetary income, because if you go for fixed interest bearing securities, you will get stability of income. If you go for variable returned securities, you will have less stability of income. Say for example, you purchase a 8% bond, so you will get 8% interest confirmed. If you purchase a share, are you confirmed about the dividend? No, it depends on the profits of the company. If the company gets less profit, you will get less dividend. If the company gets more profit, you will get more dividend. This is solely based on the investment decision of the company, the profitability of the company. So it has to be considered while purchasing security or while purchasing a financial asset. Next very important concept is tax shelter. It's nothing but the tax benefits what you get on investing on certain financial assets. The tax benefits are basically divided into three: initial tax benefits, continuing tax benefits, and terminal tax benefits. That is, some securities get tax benefit in the starting, some get continuously, some get at the end. Say for example, if you purchase an NSE bond, you will get tax benefit only in the first year. If you go for taking a life insurance policy, you will get tax benefits continuously for all the years. So this has to be considered while taking a savings plan or when purchasing a financial asset. And most of the salaried persons will go for investing because they want to get benefit of tax. This is commonly done in various organizations and by different individuals. So here basically the 8 concepts are considered as the characteristic features or nature of investment. The scope is nothing but the area of operation. The first concept is identification of investors' requirements. Here different investors have different features and they have different objectives, preferences and constraints. So the foundation of investment management is collection of data relating to investment requirements. When you go for collecting the data about investors requirements, you will get an idea about the assets and securities to be selected. So basically that has to be done. The second one is formulation of investment policy and strategy. Here when you go for formulating of investment policy or strategy, you will get the different classes of investments, that is shares, bonds, debentures, etc. And it is always told that it's not preferable to invest in a particular security. Your investment has to be diversified in different portfolios. It's nothing but the various activities in which you can invest the money. So it is always told that don't lay all the eggs in the same basket. So because there is a chance of breaking all the eggs. So lay the eggs in different baskets so that any one of the basket or some few of the baskets will be safe and the other baskets may lose its worth. And always an investor is expected to have a lot of patience and a lot of diligence in formulation of investment policy and strategy, because once you make a wrong plan, your investment is going to be a flop. So as I told you in the beginning, well planned is half done. So plan the investments properly. So it comes under the scope of investment management. The next one is formulation or execution of the strategy. What is being done here? Whatever we plan in the second stage will be implemented in the next stage. Here what happens is they require a lot of research, analysis and judgment. Here what happens, the portfolio considered may relate to the needs of a given level of income, liquidity, safety and high yielding growth stocks, etc. The success of the portfolio depends upon the initiative, innovation and judgment of the person constructing the portfolio. Here, though you have planned in the second stage, this execution is very, very important. You have to invest properly and with lot of care and diligence in different securities, so that you are not going to incur a loss, or you are not going to lose the capital whichever you have invested in the securities. The last and very important concept is monitoring of portfolio. What is this monitoring of portfolio? Once you have invested, it's not that your work is done. You have to see how this portfolio is working and how the composition of this portfolio is changing from time to time. And monitoring the risk and structuring the portfolio is very important. If at all you find there is a chance of loss in one particular area, you have to be very careful and divert that amount or that fund or that capital to some other area, so that the loss of time and value in that particular portfolio can be avoided, and see that the performance is made optimal from the entire portfolio. And for that, if your investment is huge and in different portfolios, you should have a portfolio manager who can direct you, who can suggest you and who can take care of your portfolio. So here the scope of portfolio involves identification, formulation, execution and monitoring. Basically all these have to be considered, and based on that itself the management investment decision has to be taken by the investors. So when we have understood the concept of nature and scope, let us go for the multiple choice questions whatever we have. Here we have the multiple choice questions. The first one is, technically investment includes only financial assets, only marketable assets, financial and real assets that is marketable or non-marketable, only financial and real assets that is marketable. So the answer is financial and real assets that is marketable and non-marketable. The second one is, the investment professionals that arrange the sale of new securities are called as traders, arbitrageurs, investment bankers or specialists. They are the investment bankers. The answer is the investment bankers. The next one is, customer protection fund is set up to protect the investors against price fluctuations, to protect the brokers, provide insurance to the investors in case of default by the members, to protect the member and investor. So the options are 4. The correct answer is to provide insurance to the investors in case of default by the members. The next question is, speculator is a person who evaluates the performance of the company, who uses his own funds only, who is willing to take risk for high return, who considers hearsays and market behavior. So speculator is a person who considers hearsay and market behavior. That is, whatever others tell, they will listen and then they will go for purchasing and selling of securities. The next question is, horse racing, game of cards, lottery are the typical examples of speculation, investment, arbitrage and gambling. The answer is gambling, because as I told you, gambling is nothing but betting. So betting is done in all the three, in lottery, in game of cards and horse racing. And the various books referred for nature and scope of investment is the following. You can go for any of the books and you can refer the material supplied by me. And students, once you understand the nature and scope of investment management, we can go for the next concept in the next